When you're planning to take a flight, do you ever consider the fact that the things you're thinking about packing may have an impact on the weight, efficiency, and cost of that flight? Or are you like most people and do you try to jam as much as you can into your suitcase, including the kitchen sink? Did you know that even emptying your bladder before a flight can impact the cost? As someone who's had the opportunity to fly all over the world, I've realized the personal benefits of smart packing. But recently, I've learned more about the broader benefits. I'm Tara Allen, and I'm here to talk to you today about the impact of airplane weight on the cost and efficiency of flying, how the airlines are addressing that, and how we as passengers can be part of the solution. Okay. There are more planes in the air today than ever before, in fact, thousands at any one time. And when you think about the fuel that they're burning and the emissions that they're putting out, it stands to reason that airlines would look for ways to decrease those emissions. With the cost of fuel rising every year, it's starting to have huge financial impacts to the airlines and to us as passengers. Ines Turgut, in her analysis, showed that airplane weight is one of the biggest factors when it comes to fuel consumption. Wow. In fact, she demonstrated how for every 35 ounces of non-payload weight, there is an incremental fuel consumption of 2 to 3%. That's significant. Yeah. So obviously the simplest way for airlines to address this is to decrease the non-payload weight of aircraft. What's non-payload weight? That's things like the aircraft itself, the equipment, and any other standard items in an airplane. So how are airlines addressing this? Well, research and engineering advancements are going on constantly. Karen Wood, in her analysis, shows how airlines are decreasing fuel consumption by using more materials like glass fiber, carbon fiber composites, thermoplastics, and weight-saving foam. She says that fuel costs are increasing worldwide at such a rate that by 2022, they will account for more than 50% of overall fleet operating costs. And assuming a 1% weight savings, a single-aisle aircraft can shed over 1,000 pounds of weight in a year and can save the airline up to $1 million, and that's just for one plane. In a recent interview, Christine, a 27-year flight attendant with a major international airline, talked about some of the changes she's seen over the years. She says that her company has its own oil refinery now, and that's one way that they're addressing cost savings. She said that airlines are no longer using the large planes like the 747s, the Lockheed L-1011, and the MD-11 in favor of lighter aircraft. They're using lighter materials now, not just for the body of the plane, but for the seats and other equipment, and smarter seat design too. In the galleys, for the storage compartments and the carts, that used to be made of steel and stainless steel, they're now using aluminum and plastics. Everything, Christine said, is smaller and more streamlined. So that's non-payload weight. Now let's talk about payload weight. And what's that? That's you and me. That's the passengers and the baggage. Airlines have imposed more weight restrictions in recent years, and we've all experienced the fines that we have to pay if we go over that weight. It's helped. Christine says that people are now packing less. And of course, business travelers always knew that anyway. They don't want to have to check a bag or pay a fee. But the leisure traveler is not always as smart about packing. So every choice we make when we're planning for a trip impacts this. Do we bring our iPad? How many outfits or pairs of shoes do we pack? And do we bring full-size or travel-size toiletries? It may not seem like much for one person, but when you think about 200 or 300 people on a plane, and then you multiply that by all the planes in one day and 365 days in a year, it's significant. Yeah. So when you're planning for your next trip, I encourage you to think about what you'll be doing every day and lay out your outfits accordingly. Think about whether you'll have access to a washer and dryer, and you can significantly reduce what you pack. And you can always wear outfits more than once. You can mix and match and use accessories, a hat, a scarf, mix up the look. Remember, airlines are always looking for ways to decrease costs. When Christine talks about the future of air travel, she talks about pilotless planes. Yes, the pilot is on the ground operating the flight from another location, and there's no need for a cockpit or cockpit equipment. She also talks about passenger weight restrictions. Now, can you imagine having to get on a scale before stepping on a plane and having to pay a fee for every pound you're overweight? Scary, right? So today I've talked to you about the impact of airplane weight on fuel costs and airline efficiencies, what the airlines are doing to address it, and what we as passengers can do to be part of the solution for financial and environmental impacts. So the next time you travel, remember to plan a little more carefully, and remember to use the bathroom before you step on the plane.
That's good idea.